Hey guys, Adam here from LTD Gaming, and I'm coming to you with some Minecraft tutorials. Mainly we're going to be using Redstone here, and I want to start off by showing you guys a few of the gates that I tend to use and some of my Redstone creations. And first up here we have something that's called a NOT gate or an inverter. It's pretty simple. It's just a power source that gets inverted, so when it's on, the output's off. When it's off, the output's on. Easy way to continue a circuit. But really nice to use sometimes when you're working with pistons and stuff like that. After that, we get an AND gate. This is really cool, where you got both power sources have to be on for your output to be on. Other than that, if the power sources are off or just one's on, the other one's not either way, your output's always going to be off. So it's a cool way to kind of merge signals like that. Right after that, we have a NAND gate. The NAND gate is the exact opposite. Your output is going to be on when your power sources are off. And even if one power source comes on or the other one's on, as long as one of them's off or they're both off, power source will always be on. But the moment both sources go in, we have an off source. So pretty simple, pretty basic, the exact opposite of an AND gate. We'll get a little bit more complicated here. We have an XOR gate actually. Which is really cool. And this is when power sources, only one source will trigger this thing to be on. So we'll hit one source here where you got one on, one off. See your output's on. Turn the other one off. Output's off now. So only one source will let it work. If they're both on and they're both off, source is not going to work. Right after that, we have an XNOR gate, which is again the exact opposite, where when both your sources are on, your output's on, or both your sources are off, your output's on. And the moment you have just one source, you get nothing. So it's pretty similar to an AND gate, a little bit more complicated. You can get a little bit, a little bit more advanced with it. They're really cool to use. You'll see them in a lot of the circuits that I use. I've made things like tic-tac-toe games. I'm working on a calculator right now that's going to have a lot of this where you're doing adding and subtracting. But the last thing I'm going to show you here is this is a cool little thing where you have a button that will have a full power supply. So it's, turning a button into a switch basically. It's pretty simple to build. It is exactly what you see right here. Some redstone on top, redstone on the bottom, pistons. These are sticky pistons going into each other. And you hit the button and it's going to move the block over and you'll see there's no power source. You hit a button and then you have a power source coming through. And you can even double up the power source here. If you were to take another block and more redstone, you can definitely create another power source coming in, and then it can switch and it can go from one power source to the other. I actually need some repeaters here so the signals don't mix. And now every time you hit this button, it's going to switch right over and you're going to have an alternating power source that's a steady source off a button. And you're going to see this all over the place. I use these all the time. They're absolutely awesome. I'd much rather use buttons and switches and everything that I do. This is kind of a little preview of what I'm going to show you. Coming up, I'm going to be doing stuff like, continuing or reoccurring circuits. I'm going to have a tic-tac-toe game using redstone lamps. I'm going to have a rock, paper, scissors game, even a Connect 4 game. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up that you guys are going to be able to see. So this is just a little preview of what's coming up, and I will see you in the future. Adam out.